to the Restaurant Operator Podcast. I'm your host, Cherryh Cansler. And if you've looked at your P&L statement lately, you know the reality. Beef prices are climbing and margins are feeling the squeeze, but protein is more popular than ever. So is it time to rethink the center of the plate? Today, we are exploring why pork might just be the strategic pivot your menu needs right now. To help break this down, I'm joined by two incredible guests, Dr. Kristin Hicks-Roof from the National Pork Board and Eddie Flores Jr., co-founder of L&L Hawaiian Barbecue. Let's get right into it. Kristin, the fast casual sector is dealing with rising costs, softer consumer demand, and an urgent need to differentiate. In this environment, operators are rethinking every ingredient on the plate. So you've been talking a lot about how pork offers both a nutritious story and a margin story. So give us the deets.
Yeah, really, pork is under leveraged. It's affordable, it's flavor, it's culturally relevant, and then it also gives this nutrition bang for a buck. So it helps operators kind of escape this protein fatigue while staying below, prices that are out there for other proteins. But nutritionally, it really drives a lot of nutritional value. And I know we'll get to that in a little bit. So you get not only the nutrition, but that affordability piece for your menu and for your customers.
Awesome. Eddie, so you guys have a massive success story with over 200 locations, and you built an empire on comfort food, but you also are known for offering nutritional options as well. So from the operator's seat, do you agree with what Kristin is seeing? So are you finding that pork, whether it's your Kalua pork or even Spam, is acting as a stabilizer for your business model?
Absolutely. I think it's really a great idea. But just want to correct you, we have 235 locations now. We just opened up in Texas, Idaho, and also Georgia. So we're very excited. Yes, we sell a lot of Kalua pork. I don't know if you know what Kalua pork is. Usually the old time, the Hawaiian will put the pig in the ground and smoke it. But we don't do that. We just buy it. So the Kalua pork really tastes good. It's kind of like a pulled pork. And we serve a cabbage, and we are using spam musubi, which is one of our best-selling items right now. I'm telling you, spam musubi for us is almost like a Hawaiian hamburger. But one thing you forgot to mention too is pork lau lau. We sell pork lau lau too, and you can't find.
What is that? What is that?
Well, it's actually it's pork wrapped in taro leaves and steamed.
So is it kind of one of the healthier options? Is it kind of a healthier option, you'd say?
So that's what I eat all the time. Oh, it tastes so good. In Hawaii, we call that ono.
Ono. All right. I like it. So, Kristin, we are seeing customers gravitate toward protein-forward, health-forward eating. I mean, I've been covering this for the past few months where everybody is protein. You've got the protein bros. Now we're seeing restaurants actually put the protein grams on the menus. So how does pork fit into this shift toward nutrient density and food with function?
Yeah, pork is spot on. So any fresh cut of pork has over 20 grams of protein per 3-ounce serving. So that's about the size of a deck of cards. So it's a great call out for your customers who are really trying to seek some of that protein rich foods. And it's a whole muscle cut. You also have a lot of other nutrients in pork. And that's one of the things that we're really trying to talk about at the National Pork Board. It has more, vitamin 1 or thiamine than chicken. It has more vitamin B12 and zinc for immunity and energy. So pork is offering that nutritional profile. And it all depends on what type of pork you want to serve your customers. There is lean pork. So if you're looking at a health conscious consumers, we have 3 lean cuts, AHA certified or American Heart Association certified. That's your sirloin pork chop, your sirloin pork roast, and the pork tenderloin. But then there's non-lean options. And so I think it's really a best of both worlds. But what Eddie pointed out is spot on of what we talk a lot about on the nutrition team is that pork is traditional in cultural foods all over the globe. It's one of the most consumed proteins in the world. And so as global flavors is kind of rising to the top, especially of this young generation, what they're looking for, pork fits smack dab in the middle, that it not only provides that nutrition, but it also provides that traditional, delicious. And Eddie, I know the exact pork you're talking about. So I think that's really special about pork.
Absolutely. So back to you, Eddie. Hawaiian barbecue is obviously famous for being healthy and comfort. The plate lunch, apparently, is legendary. But I know you guys have also adapted to more modern trends with your lighter L&L menu. So can you talk about how you balance those options?
Oh, absolutely. Like Kalua pork. I mentioned Kalua pork. The Hawaiian way, they don't put any vegetable. For us, we put a lot of cabbage in there, so it makes it much more healthier. And we do have a small Kalua pork bowl. We serve a lot of bowls, and instead of a macaroni salad, you can ask for a tossed green salad. So it really make it very healthy, believe me. And I want to mention the lao lao too. When you eat the lao lao, you wrap around so many taro leaves. It's really tasty and very flavorful. And speaking about delicious, I feel like having a Kalua pork bowl for lunch.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
absolutely. I feel like I need to try this Lao Lao. I've never had this, so that's going to be on my to-do list. Kristin, let's get back to menu strategy and margin because rising food costs are crazy. So we just had a pop menu report showed that operators are being forced to balance rising costs with consumer expectations. So where does pork fit from a business and margin perspective?
Yeah, so we know pork, there is a margin opportunity, especially looking at all the other proteins out on the market. So it's a great opportunity to really expand and improve your margins as a cost-effective protein solution. But it also fits in that culinary space. So just as Eddie mentioned, it can go in a bowl, it can go in a wrap, it can go in breakfast, a taco, a sandwich. There's so much versatility at pork. And we do know that pork is that cost effective. So it's not only the cost, but then you have that versatility of using it in different menu options. So it's not just a one and done. So I think that's really important that pork can be, really maximized to reduce food waste as well.
Sure. So, Eddie, let's talk numbers with you. You guys have to manage food costs across a massive franchise system. So, when you look at the volatility of beef prices over the last few years versus pork, how has pork helped you maintain those margins? Would you call it a strategic advantage for you to have such a pork centric menu?
Yes, definitely. But before I go to that, I want to mention about breakfast too, because we do serve pork for breakfast like spam and egg, Portuguese sausage, and eggs. So we do use pork for our breakfast. In fact, very few people would do that, and we are one of the very few fast casual to do that. Yes, we use a lot of beef and chicken and pork, but beef was one of our major items. As you can see, the prices in the last 10 years went up almost 60%. 60%, I'm telling you. I mean, for us in Hawaii, especially more expensive. Everything has been shipped from the West Coast. And for us to buy beef right now, it's almost like $5.40. Would you believe that? And even the chicken, we use a lot and it went up 50% the last 10 years. So pork is really a good alternative for us to use to help us, shave up some expenses.
Amazing. So let's talk about differentiation because, like I said earlier, protein is everywhere, but and the chicken brands are everywhere right now. I feel like we're getting kind of saturated with that, though. Everybody is getting on the chicken sandwich, but I feel like, that the menus are becoming identical. So, Kristin, pork, I know that you mentioned to me before, like pork has all these flavor notes and global trends. So, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, protein fatigue is real. So people get tired of eating the same proteins over and over. And it's a great opportunity to go in and diversify their protein choices because they're still going to eat chicken or beef or fish or whatever other proteins they're going to eat. But adding pork to that menu set will allow them to not only diversify their palates, but also your menu. So operations are really looking for, that variety, I guess you could say. But on the nutrition side, which is my favorite, I'm a dietitian, and so we had some recent research showing that pork has over 110 flavored nuances and it has natural umami in it. So whether you're doing a tenderloin or you're doing some shredded pork or a Kalua pork, or pork chop, you get this very natural umami, which pairs really well with a bunch of fruits and vegetables, just as Eddie mentioned. So if you want to kind of healthify a menu, pork pairs with plants fantastic. And it goes across cultural cuisines. So whether you go the Hispanic route and you do maybe an al pastor or carnitas, you could add that cabbage or onion or pineapple on there. Or you can go Asian and do like a bulgogi or a bami sandwich or a gochujang sauce, right? And all of those would then pair different fruits and vegetables. So guests can allow and see pork really as a more premium and flavorful option when you get it out of its traditional context, and really into where it shines the most, which is those traditional flavors, and exactly what, something like L&L Barbecue, that Hawaiian culture embraces pork because that's native and traditional to them, and that's when pork really shines.
Great. So staying on that health perception, I know, some people just assume pork can't fit into the healthier builds. So Eddie, for you, I know you sell everything from healthy barbecue chicken bowls to Spam, which has a very cult following. But do you ever face pushback on that health aspect of pork, or do you find that your customers understand the balance?
Well, it's a matter of educating them because a long time ago when I attended one of the presentation, I was told that pork is actually a white meat. The other white meat we can sell besides chicken, so it's actually very, very healthy. As I mentioned earlier before, if you put a lot more cabbage and put some tossed green salad in there, it's just as healthy as anything. It's just a matter of portion because we give such a big portion. You don't have to eat the big one. You can have the mini bowl. Hey, one thing I want to mention about the pork too. In Dallas, one of my franchisees actually started to sell a dish called pork tocino, which is a very famous dish in the Philippines, and that thing is selling as much as we sell a barbecue chicken, which is our top item. So you got to be a little more innovative.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that, Eddie. What does that dish entail?
Well, it's just a special sauce, and you just put on the grill. That's it. It tastes very good. It's in Dallas at Plano, and I'm telling you, that's one of the top items. And we don't sell it, so I've been encouraging some of my franchisees to get the recipe and actually use it and sell it. I mean, if you don't try it, you'll never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I love that because we've seen many times that the best new trends come from franchisees. So that's smart that you guys are doing that. Kristin, so for operators concerned about execution, what makes pork operational friendly? Like what makes it good? So any tips, any cooking tips out there?
Yeah, I would say so. Number one, we have a lot of data to go back and we talk about pork as a carrier food. So, as an operator is going and building menus, pork helps to be the flavor driver to get people to eat more fruits and vegetables. So, whether you're healthifying a menu or you're trying to maybe reduce the size of the protein and increase the size of the sides, it's a great way to have pork as an ingredient as part of creating dishes, whether that's with vegetables or fruits or whole grains or however you want to build that menu. And so when pork is on the menu, we do know that it increases fruit and vegetable intake. So I think that's huge. And whether that's fresh pork or that's even processed pork. One example I love to give is, with operators 10 years ago, you never saw Brussels sprouts on a menu. However, once food service operators started putting bacon on there, you now had pork, which is the flavor driver to getting people to eat more Brussels sprouts. And so I think you can use that concept. Operators can, again, between the fresh and the processed portfolio, as an ingredient to then build these wonderful flavor meals while also helping with the margin opportunity. As we know, some of the produce may be cheaper.
That's the only way I've ever eaten Brussels sprouts is if there's bacon in it.
Exactly, because you need flavor, and that's really where pork comes in, right?
What are 2 or 3 tactical moves that restaurant operators can do right now to get more pork on their menu without having to totally blow up the rest of the menu?
Yeah, I would say look at some swaps of what you already have and does pork fit in naturally? Look at some of the flavor pairings and, your chefs. I mean, chefs know flavor better than anyone out there. So I would say look at what you have and then see, or look at some of your sides and how could you bolster them and make them more appetizing by adding, let's say, some, ground pork crumbles or maybe some meatballs or even like, again, some bacon on there, because who doesn't want to buy bacon as well? I feel like it's a flavor driver for everyone. And it doesn't just have to be bacon. Again, if you have a more health conscious consumer base, ground pork is a great option that it's really easy. It's in the ground consideration set, and it offers more nutritional value compared to a lot of the other ground proteins. So you get the bang for the buck, not only as a margin opportunity, but also as a nutrition opportunity.
Have
And
you
I
seen
can't,
restaurant operators mixing the ground pork with ground beef or just to kind of cut costs a little bit?
yeah, you're starting to see some actual brands coming out that are doing blends. So I think that's an exciting opportunity. Plus, beef and pork offer different flavor profiles. So I think it's a good step in the right direction. Again, you look at your menus and what makes the most sense for you and your consumer base. But I know when we make, meatloaf or any sort of spaghetti or anything at home, we love doing a 50-50 pork beef blend because, again, they offer different nutrition, but they also offer cost and nutrition.
Amazing. So, Eddie, I'm going to give you the last word. So, for a founder or an operator listening who might be hesitant to expand their menu to add pork because they're stuck in the chicken or, beef only, what's your advice? So, why should they take a second look at pork right now?
Really, honest to God, I mean, you have to try everything, and pork is a very good alternative. If you don't do it, you're missing the boat. So it's very important to look at all the alternative and decide what you want to do. And pork is definitely a good choice to pick.
Amazing. Well, thank you both so much today. Before we go, Kristin, tell me where the rest of the operators can go to learn more about pork, get recipes, some funding. Where can they go?
Yeah, so Taste What Pork Can Do is a great website that we just launched, all new recipe inspiration, really thinking about health and nutrition, but then also beyond just health and nutrition and really trying to tie into this global cuisine, which we know is very hot and popular right now. So, and feel free to reach out to us. My email is kroof@pork.org. You can reach out to us if you're interested in doing any sort of LTO to help drive some excitement or highlighting any sort of nutritional value on the menu.
Amazing. Well, thank you both today. Also, if you're out there listening, please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time on the Restaurant Operator Podcast.